It is Thursday morning and I am reading Heaven Official's Blessing, which I think is the last book on, except for tomorrow where I'm supposed to be reading 3 books. But this is the last book on my TBR for this vacation, and I'm on page, what does it say here? 124. I don't have a set page number today because I'm leaving in about an hour to go visit with my friend. And I don't know when I'll be home, but I can get some reading done before I leave at least. It's Thursday evening and I am home from visiting my friend. So, let's see, this is atrocious lighting. I do apologize. But I did visit my friend and I finished Belladonna yesterday. So, but I did read some more of Heaven Official's Blessing, so that's on the way. But tomorrow that has to take a back seat because I'm doing the 3 books in one day bingo square for hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And I'm going to try to read Thornhedge, The Appeal and A Psalm for the Wild-Built. I might exchange either Thornhedge or A Psalm for the Wild-Built with a manga because I think that's allowed, and depending on how long it'll take me to read the other 2, I might have to scale down my ambitions. But yeah, so I have the alarm clock set for tomorrow, so I'm ready to go in and have 24 hours of reading. Good morning. It is 5:40 in the morning on Friday, and we are starting our 24 hours on the clock to read A Psalm for the Wild-Built, Thornhedge, and The Appeal. Wish me luck, this one is kind of chunky and with tiny font, but I'm hoping it'll go quickly. I'll start with this one because this one is also on my Storygraph Randomize-ish your TBR. So this one needs to be read in February, and today is the last day. So my planning was maybe not great, but let's get started. I am up and ready for the day. I've started The Appeal and I'm on page 71. And I also listened to about half an hour of Thornhedge while I was eating breakfast and getting ready. There's 22 and a half hours left, and I already feel like time is just running out so fast. But we'll see. I'll continue reading, and this is moving along quickly, so that's good. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about halfway through The Appeal with 20 hours to go. So I'm feeling more optimistic than I did earlier. I feel like maybe I actually have a chance of doing this. And things are starting to come together here. This book is mainly told through emails in a group of amateur theater players. And there's a lot going on because there's a small child who has cancer, and they are running an appeal to raise funds for her treatment because it's an experimental treatment from the States. So they're trying to have it sent over to England where they are, and it's very expensive. So there's a lot of talk about the appeal and raising of money, and yeah, there's a lot of like, where exactly is the money going, and there's also some interpersonal relationships that are mysterious. So things are starting to get messy, and I guess we'll see how it all plays out. It's just about 11 o'clock and I am this far in. Things are coming to a head now. The murder has happened, and now like it's written in emails between all the people involved, and now there's like a legal team going through all this evidence and trying to determine who's a suspect and who could have done it and exactly what's going on. And we've reached the part where that legal team is like pulling together everything and going through everything that they know so far. And I have to admit that's a little bit boring because it's just like going through everything we've already read. But again, they do have some points where I'm like, oh yeah, I missed that because this is a lot of information to store in one brain. So some of it is interesting, but some of it is also just rehashing everything we've learned so far. But there's still a decent chunk left, so I'm guessing there's gonna be more evidence to the case. It's just gone 12 and I finished my first book of the day. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm doing better than I thought I was gonna. So I have every hope that it can happen. But anyway, this was like a mystery crime novel, so it was very page turning and interesting. And at first I was a little bit worried that the medium of emails was gonna get boring, but it wasn't too bad. And yeah, in the end it all came together and it was pretty wild. I mean, I didn't see that ending coming at all, so it had my interest for all like 400 pages, I think. Where are we? Yeah, 400 pages. So 1 down, 2 to go. The sun has come out, which can be a rarity in Denmark at this time of year, so I'm going to go for a walk and listen to Thornhedge and get some sunshine. I'm back from my walk. I have about half an hour left of Thornhedge and I'm just quilting while I'm listening to the audiobook. I finished Thornhedge and it's like mid-afternoon, so I still have tons of time left. I was supposed to read A Psalm for the Wild Built, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm burning out a little bit on reading. And it's not very long, but I think it would take the rest of the day to read that. So instead I borrowed Garlic and the Witch on Libby, and it's a graphic novel, so that should be quicker to read. And I think the rules are it can be, like one of the books had to be a novel of at least 300 pages, and then the rest could be kind of whatever you wanted. So this definitely counts, and as soon as I have read that, I will have 1 bingo square for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And I need anything I can get because I'm not doing great. By the way, I give this one like 3.5 stars because I just don't do great with short books. But this one is like inspired or retelling of Sleeping Beauty, where there's a princess in the tower and so a princeling comes along to save her, but everything is not as it seems, and maybe the princess should have stayed in the tower. Yeah, but yeah, it was short, so when books are that short, I just have really hard time getting into the story and liking the characters and yeah, getting really immersed. So it was nice, but not my favorite. I've quite optimistically hung my laundry outside. I mean, it definitely won't dry by the time the sun goes down, but it'll have a couple of hours, so hopefully it'll still have that nice fresh smell of the outside when once it does dry. So I'm going to read Garlic and the Witch and hopefully cross this bingo square off. Good morning. It is Saturday morning and I forgot to update you yesterday about the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. But like you saw, I did manage to read 3 books in one day because I read Thornhedge and The Appeal. And then I dropped A Psalm for the Wild Built because I was burning out a little bit on reading. So I borrowed Garlic and the Witch instead, which was a graphic novel, I think you call it, but quite short one. So I got that over and done with pretty quickly. So I was actually done with all of this like middle of the afternoon. So that was great. And I actually got to tick off a bingo square for the challenge. So that was good. And today I've already read like days ago. I finished that, so I'm only reading Heaven Official's Blessing. I'm hoping to finish that this weekend. And even though it's now March, I'm counting this weekend as my February TBR, so don't tell anyone. It is Saturday afternoon, and I'm on page 256 of Heaven Official's Blessing. So let's hope that I will finish it this weekend. I'm liking it so far. I have read The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, I think it's called, by the same author. And I didn't really like the writing style, so I was a bit nervous about this one. But so far it's better for me than the other one, so I'm enjoying that. It is Sunday, just around lunchtime, and I'm happy to report that I did manage to finish Heaven Official's Blessing yesterday, like early evening I think it was. So I did everything that I was planning to do. I read all my books, and yeah, it was a really good vacation week. As for the book here, Heaven Official's Blessing, I really enjoyed it, and I was a little bit worried because I didn't click with the writing style of the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, I think it's called, but I don't know, this one just worked better for me for some reason, even though I think the writing style is pretty similar. Then I also started A Psalm for the Wild-Built, that I had on my TBR for hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, that I switched out with Garlic and the Witch because I was burning out a little bit on reading on Friday. But I'm enjoying it so far, and it's pretty short, so it's not too bad. And I've also started Devil in the White City, about the murders at the Chicago World Fair. It's a non-fiction, and it was all I could get on audiobook yesterday when I needed a non-fiction for my walk and my gardening time. I'm pretty, I use Libby for my audiobooks because it's free and I can only have 2 books out at a time, and of course I'm also dependent on the books being available at whenever time I would like to read them. So that was the one that was available, and I started it about an hour and a half in, I think, and it's pretty interesting so far. But that concludes my week of reading, and I think I did pretty well because I finished A World Beneath the Sands and Belladonna, Heaven Official's Blessing, Thornhead, The Appeal, Garlic and the Witch. Yeah, and then I started A Psalm for the Wild-Built and Devil in the White City. So all in all, a productive week. Let me know what you've been reading lately, and I'll see you soon for another video. Bye!